Hello, my name is Timothy Lee Rogers Sr., and I'm the creator of the Smart Money Manuscript. But Tim, what is the Smart Money Manuscript? The Smart Money Manuscript is your roadmap to financial freedom. Inside this powerful course designed to transform your financial future, I've meticulously condensed over 1,000 of my public YouTube videos into 40 highly efficient lessons that span just 2.5 hours. This course is strategically designed into 4 phases to help guide your learning in the most logical and effective way possible. Phase 1 lays the groundwork, covering essential financial literacy like budgeting, banking, and taxes. In phase 2, you'll move beyond the basics, learning about brokerage accounts, figuring out how much you need for your own individual retirement. You learn about how to do fundamental research on companies, and you'll also learn how to conduct technical analysis by looking at stock charts. Phase 3 empowers you to build a robust portfolio and leverage your capital using advanced techniques like options and futures, and it also teaches you the importance of backtesting your strategies. Finally, phase 4 takes a deep dive into the advanced ICT concepts, giving you a professional edge. Each lesson includes a short quiz to help solidify your understanding. By the end of this journey, you'll have the confidence and tool that you need to make intelligent investing decisions, manage your money without fear or ambiguity. So if you want to be a long-term buy and hold investor, if you want to be a swing trader, if you want to be a day trader, if you want to trade stocks, if you want to trade options, if you want to trade futures, the Smart Money Manuscript is for you for $69.99. Yes, $69.99 for all of this here. Have you ever watched price hit your exact fib level, hunt your stop, and then explode into a massive move without you? You're not wrong about the direction. You're just acting as someone else's exit liquidity. You see, retail traders use Fibonacci to find support and resistance, but the market makers, they use those exact same levels to find your orders. Hi, my name is Timothy Lee Rogers Sr., and inside the magical Fibonacci tool, I am handing you the exact institutional framework you need to flip the script. No more guessing, no more games, no more retail traps, just pure precision order flow. It's time to stop feeding the markets, switch sides, and learn to hunt liquidity like the pros. Who's that peeking at my window? Pow. Nobody now. How y'all doing this evening, man? How are y'all doing on this beautiful Monday evening? The time is currently 6:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If this is your first time tuning in to Tim's Tidbits, please allow me to say welcome. Why does that look like that? Why does that look like that? It looks very strange. I don't know what's going on. It looks very strange. Nothing is showing like it's supposed to be showing on my side. I usually could see certain things, but it's just totally blank right now. I don't know why. Anyway, at least I can see the chat. I don't know why the rest of the stuff is totally blank. But, yeah. If this is your first time tuning in to Tim's Tidbits, please allow me to say welcome. But if it's not your first time tuning in to Tim's Tidbits, I still want to say welcome. But I want to give you a nice hearty. Well, thank you for always tuning in to Tim's Tidbits. If you don't know who I am, my name is Timothy Lee Rogers Sr. No, not Bucky. My name is Timothy Lee Rogers Sr., a.k.a. Aranya Grande. That's just me, BIGSPIDER, for you hablo Espanol. And you're now in tune to another episode of the NQ Intraday Price Action Recap. You feel me? Hey, man. What's going on with my clickety-click? Why my clickety-click ain't working, man? My clickety-click wasn't working, man. Stop. Let me move this up a little bit, man. Yeah, move that up a little bit like that so I can get to my clickety click be acting crazy sometime. All right, there you go. Why's that down there? Does that make a noise? I guess that's got sound because it's got volume on there. I don't know. I don't know why that's showing volume right there. Sorry, y'all. I got a lot going on today, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all up. We gonna get right into it, man. Did price do anything that caught you off guard today? Did price do anything that caught you by surprise? Were you expecting price to do this, but price did that? You was looking for this, but price did that. Anything. Talk to me. Did it do anything to catch you off guard? Hmm? Hmm? Nothing?
Okay, so I got a little thrown sideways kind of because
Okay.
when price opened, it opened and it took out open buy side of the New York PM session, then sell side. Open
Okay.
low.
You said it took out buy side of the New York PM, then sell side?
Yeah,
Okay.
open, high, low, close. That candle was open, high, low, close, correct?
What candle? What time frame? My ear. I got like a
I'm
bump in my
probably
ear.
thinking like on the 5 minute. I don't have I'm on my laptop, and the only thing I have is the Discord up, so I don't have multiple screens right now.
You I mean you don't have to have multiple screens to talk to me.
No,
Uh
I
uh okay. What
go to CME open.
you said CMEO?
Yeah,
All right.
1800. Yeah.
Okay. I'm you said you was thrown for a loop. I'm waiting on you to explain.
All
I'm
right, because the reason why, because I was looking for, I guess I was looking at that move, and then it going up and taking out liquidity. I was looking at that like to be the fake move before the real move because then price sold down. So does that make sense?
uh-huh.
Okay. So when I looked at the daily, I already looked at the daily as us selling because of the PD arrays that we had marked off last night, yesterday. All that, yes.
Okay.
So when you ask, no, I should not. I should have been on the right side, and there's no reason why I shouldn't have lost a trade at all today. Because just like I see that it opened, that's what it did. Open, high, low, close. Yeah. I'm good. I'm good. Sorry about that.
Hey, glad we can help. So hey, you see, I just want to take this opportunity to say that this is the second time where Cassandra had a question or something, and as she talked through it, she figured it out. Sometimes you just have to talk through it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Sometimes as you start to talk through, you be like, oh, I see. All right. Sometimes you just got to talk through it. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else got anything before we start looking at the price action recap? Going once. Going to oh yeah. My liaison, my Apex liaison Shout out Apex if y'all looking for, to try your hand at a prop firm. I got an affiliate code with Apex, right? As y'all see on the bottom of the screen, just use code BIGSPIDER at checkout for the best deal. Right now they still got $49 all in on the 50K, no activation fee in intraday trailing drawdown accounts. That's good until tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. And they got $59 all in.
You want?
You want to what? You want to what? You say, well, you want to mute. What you say? And then they got $59 all in for the 100K, no activation fee. Intraday trailing drawdown. Using code BIGSPIDER at checkout. That's good until tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. And code BIGSPIDER also will get you 90% off anything else that you want to purchase over there, right? And I recommend those two because with the 50K, no activation fee, intraday trailing drawdown, and the 100K, no activation fee, intraday trailing drawdown, that's the best bang for your buck. Anything else on there that you buy, even at 90% off, is going to cost you more than that $49 all in for the 50K or that $59 all in for the 100K, right? So that's the direction I would say go. Even if I don't like intraday trailing drawdown, Tim, it sucks. That's your best bang for your buck, right? And remember to use code BIGSPIDER at checkout, right? Code BIGSPIDER at checkout. I was looking for something. Where did I pick up my phone to look for before I started talking about Apex?
Said something about your affiliate.
Oh yeah. He reached out to me today. I reached out to him. I said, "Hey, Tomas, new week. Go ahead and send me them codes for Freebie Friday." And he hit me back and was like, he on vacation until the 27th. The 27th is Thursday. So I don't know if we gonna do a Freebie Friday this week because he don't get back until the 27th, right? The codes usually go real fast, like between and with all the affiliates when they be sending the codes out during the week, they typically go really fast. I don't know if they get their own like group of codes per affiliate. I don't know if it just be like a code pool and they reach in there and they send them out, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But he don't get back until he said he going on vacation until the 27th. So I don't know if he gonna be back in the office on the 27th, back in the office on the 28th, which is Friday. So I don't know if I'll let y'all. Freebie Friday is to be announced for this week. All right. Freebie Friday is to be, but it don't matter because, freebie, it ain't all about just getting the codes. We link up and we chop it up and we talk about that price action. And, you know what I'm saying? Every now and then we get a few gems dropped in there. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Here, man. All right. Did you mean to have Friday's info in it say something about Friday in the title today? Y'all know I just be copy and pasting.
Yeah.
Y'all know I just be copying and pasting. Let me see. It say something about Friday. Stream settings. Oh yeah, it do say Freebie Friday, don't it? Let me see here. Man, I copied the wrong one. That ought to be the price action recap. I'm glad y'all said that. People coming in looking for this man married 4 women at the same time, then divorced them all. Then discovered they all were transgender.
Oh Lord Jesus.
I wonder what Shula said about that. Ladies and gentlemen. Let me see what Shula said about that. I got to look at that.
Yeah, let us look at it too.
Let's see what Shula said about it. Ladies and gentlemen. Let me see here. Let me hold up, cause when I be talking, they be covering y'all up. So let me share the screen with y'all. Because when I be talking, y'all be like, damn, I'm the urban. I can't see that because somebody talking to me in the upper urban. Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know I know people have all types of alternative lifestyles, but I think this right here pretty much took the cake. You know, everybody got their view on marriage, or what marriage should be, what it not should be. Some say marriage it should be just a man and a woman. Some people say marriage can be, you know, whoever. You know what I mean? If you want 10 wives, you should be able to have 10 wives. You can afford 10 wives. This man right here married 4 women at the same time and found out every last one of them was trans. Yeah, that's what he did. He married all 4 of them. Said, I'ma just go on and get all y'all. I love all y'all. Want to be with all of you. And found out that all 4 of them
had a lean. Had a lean. All of them had a lean.
To a woman. So now at this point, I'm like, well, it's you, partner. This what you want. Because I mean, I can somewhat understand if you married 4 women and 2 out the 4 or 1 out the 4 or something, you know what I mean, was that way, and you was like, man, I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, well, you wasn't paying attention to details, you was entertaining 4 of them at the same time, so how would you know? But if you pick 4, marry 4, and all 4 of them that what you like. And that's cool.
And that's cool. And that's cool. You feel me? It's you. It's you. That's what you like. And that's cool. 4 people, 4 women, and you find out all of them trans. That's you. All right. I'm assuming that the name is, I don't know. This drives me crazy. Hold on. Get out my way, YouTube. Now, let me find you again and see if we could get this to show up the right way. All right. Okay. See, it was showing the right way, then it disappeared. Oh, well, I'm not going to worry about it. That is why I said I was on the stream that you set up today. Right. I'm on the stream for the day. Wait a minute. When I went and I looked, it was 2 different streams in there. When I just went and looked and was trying to change the name, it had 2 different streams in there. And okay, now when I look, it says that the name is correct. It says the name is correct, and there's only 1 stream in there now. Right. It says the name is correct, and there's only 1 stream in there now. All right, so hopefully we cook with Crisco. Hopefully everything good. Hopefully everybody can see what they're supposed to see, including me. And let's go ahead and get to it, man. I don't see nothing in the chat. I don't hear nobody saying anything. So I'm assuming that everybody was tracking when it came to what price should be doing. All right. Let's turn our attention to the charty tart. All right. So looking at the daily time frame, we can see that price has moved down into, it moved down into the inversion fair value gap from the 23rd of July. Right? We moved down into the inversion. Look like it, just eyeballing it here, right? Did it at no, it did, it don't look like it made it down to consequent encroachment, right? It don't look like it made it down. Y'all know what? I just thought about something when I just looked at this area over here. Do y'all remember when, I can't remember what we were discussing, but I was talking about whenever I see candles with long overlapping wicks like this, right? But it it had like candles in the middle or something like that, right? And I was like, I kind of look at this as in the same way as an inversion fair value gap, right? And we was talking about like what the inversion fair value gap was, right? And we went through it. Now, I was looking at one of Michael's videos. I can't remember where he was at when he did it, right? But he took that same concept that I was talking about, and he said that that was, and that was other stuff to it. There was other stuff to it, but he was saying that was his obsidian PD array. And I was like, you see that? You see that? I was like, I be talking about, I just be applying the ideology, if you will, of the concepts. Like, okay, if price does this, then it should do that. And lo and behold, I can't remember where it was in price, but it was a video. He was it over here? I was trying to look at some price that looked familiar, right? But lo and behold, in the video, he was like, that was his obsidian PD array. And he like shorted something based off of it. I don't know. If anybody remember what day he was trading on there, he was talking about that. All right, let me know. But I was looking at the video this weekend, and it was like part of the criteria was if you're doing it in the bearish sense and you were bearish, the wick on the right had to be higher than the wick on the left. And when you grade it out and get that in between, right, that was the obsidian PD array. But it was, I want to say it had like candles in between. Because I didn't really like pay, because I don't be really like paying attention when he be talking about new PD arrays, because I don't care, right? I don't care about the new PD arrays that he be talking about, because the new PD arrays he be talking about is just like, you know, I just don't need it. I just don't need the new PD arrays. All the new, when he be like gray pool and obsidian and, you know what I'm saying, Reaper, Modus, you know what I'm saying? I just need the regular PD arrays that he taught us, right? Because Modus and Reaper and Gray Pool and Obsidian, it's just variations of the PD arrays that we already know, but you may find a breaker inside a breaker, or a a implied fair value gap inside wicks a certain way, or you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just stuff that we already know, but it's just more rules to remember. So I'll be like, I don't need that. I don't need all 81. Right? I don't need all 81. But I don't know where it is, so never mind. Anyway, I digress. We traded down into the inversion fair value gap from the 23rd of July. If we come over here and we find 23 July, I don't have, yes, there you go, right there, right? That suspension block right there. That's the suspension block itself. Those are the gradients of that suspension block right there. right? And as we can see, we came just shy of consequent encroachment of that suspension block, right? That's the gradient levels. That's the suspension block itself. All right. So on the daily time frame, you have PD arrays. Price started here, right? Price started here, and as we all know, whenever you're watching price, right? What do y'all hear me talk about when we want to watch, right? The PD arrays and look for signatures of what does price want to do, right? So when price opened up, we talked about this last night, right? We had higher time frame information that you want to watch for the entire week, right? So for our weekly time frame, right, this is what we're watching for the entire week, right? This is our suspension block that we're residing within right now for the entire week, right? And these are the octants, right, for that suspension block, right? And you say, well, Tim, I didn't see none of that on the intraday time frame, right? Because if I'm trading intraday, I want to, right, bring the higher time information down to the intraday so that I can react off the intraday. But I don't want to just leave it totally to, okay, this is my higher time frame, so I'm just going to react off that. I'm an intraday trader, so I want to have information that I can use on an intraday basis based off of my higher time frame analysis, right? So within this larger range, right? Let's go in. I'm going to show the box. I'm going to show the box. No, I'm not going to show the gradients. I'm going to show the box, current and below, right? So when I go down to the daily time frame, right? When we see here, last night, we opened right here. This is what we opened last night. Let me let's put a line there, and I'm going to make that orange, right? Right. We opened right there last night, okay? Gonna hide a new week opening gap because we're not paying that no attention right now. Okay, so we opened there last night. Now, what do you see on the daily time frame, right? This right here is our current day range when we open up, right? So if this is our higher time frame area that we're watching, and we want to pay attention to the octants inside this area right here, right? That area is huge, right? As you can see, we had an entire day's trading, right, and never traded to the high or the low of this area, right? Which makes sense. This is our 60,000 foot view from the week, all right? And for those who missed the pop-up last night, this is some of what we was talking about. I ain't gonna go full throttle all the way into the whole thing, how I broke it down on the pop-up, but this is some of the stuff that we was talking about on the pop-up, for those that missed it. Right? So inside of our daily range, that's inside of this range here, right? We got a premium wick and we got a discount wick, because when before the market opens, right? Before the market opens, this is what price looks like right there. So now you got a premium wick and you got a discount wick, right? That you can make intraday trade and decisions off of, right? And not only can you make intraday trade and decisions off of it, right? Now you can utilize uh-oh. I grabbed the wrong one. All right. Now, not only do you have, right, your daily wick, your daily wicks to utilize. Now you have, right, your higher time frame information, right, to go off of. Okay. So, and as you notice here, as we traded up, where did we not reach? We did not reach the upper quadrant of our 60,000 foot view, right? We did not reach the upper quadrant of our 60,000 foot view. Okay. Now, as we're watching our daily time frame, right? Now, the 60,000 foot view, now y'all see why I don't have it showing on the lower time frames. Because when I go in and I start watching this daily wick right there, that's too confusing, right? That's too confusing. So once I annotate this here, right, and I get an understanding of where the higher time frame is, right, I don't need the higher time frame to be showing on the lower time frame no more, right? Because I'm only going to mark on this lower time frame what's important to me based off of the higher time frame. Follow what I'm saying? Okay. I don't need to mark it anymore. All right. I don't need to see it anymore. Okay. And then we got our discount wick, right? As we see on our discount wick, right? The consequent encroachment of that CIBI is below the discount wick and below the daily low, right? So as I watch the discount wick, I had all this marked out, but I don't, right? Right. Now I know as I mark the discount wick, if I go all the way through this, I know that consequent encroachment is resting below this daily low over here, right? Remember, we never throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? Why? Because this wick right here is lower than that wick, right? So you're watching this wick here, but since the wick from the 21st is the closest imbalance in, to price, that's why I'm choosing to watch this, because it's the closest imbalance to price and it's part of our previous day's dealing range, right? So in essence, I'm just looking at the gradient levels of the entire dealing range, but instead of just grading the entire range, I'm breaking it down into a premium wick and a discount wick, right? I'm breaking it up into two different PD arrays instead of just grading the whole thing and watching the octane. But you can do that. You can just grade the entire range and just watch the octaves of the range. As long as you're grading something algorithmic, right, you're going to have references to go off of as you drill down. Okay. And then when we look over, right, when we look over this way, right, we have a BISI here. That's fine and dandy, right? If you want to watch that BISI, that's fine. But what I choose to do is watch what? The imbalance on the left side, right? So you got this is on the right side, that's on the left side, and I'm watching that. Why? Because that right there is the inversion fair value gap inside of this breaker right here. So I'm watching that, and I can see that inversion fair value gap, what is it? It's in line with this octane right here, and also that lower quadrant, right? And also consequent encroachment, right? So that octane right there, right? So that's a PD array that's in line with a bus stop. Matter of fact, it connects to several of our bus stops, right? So now I know when I'm watching the 23rd, right? What happened to those? So that right there on the 23rd, right? So now when I go back to my weekly stuff and just show it on the weekly again, right? Okay. So now, right, I don't need to look at the weekly lines anymore because now I know that my octant from the weekly is right around this octant, this 0.625 octant of this daily, right? I know that the octant from the weekly is right up here, right? And I know that the other one was right around here, right? I know where they are based off of what I'm watching, right? So when I go, let me see here one more time, weekly, 1 week. Hey, why are those showing on the right there? So it's right here. All right. So the other line, the other octant was right around there, right? It was right around there. And if we were actually monitoring our entire day, right? If we was monitoring our entire daily range right there, we can see that that octant and that octant are lining up together, right? So if you monitoring your entire day, right? So like I say, whenever you're monitoring it for algorithmic reason, right, you're gonna have reference, right? Because remember what we said, the upper quadrant was here, right? And we can see that octant there, right? That's the octant there based off the daily time frame, right? That's the octant based off the daily time frame. That's another octant on that, right? And then that's the consequent encroachment down there. Y'all get what I'm saying. Y'all get the picture, right? No matter how you break it down, if you break it down during the entire dealing range, or if you break it down with the separate PD arrays, right? As long as you're grading something of for an algorithmic reason, you're gonna have reference points that you can rely on for your lower time frame trading. All right. And then hi him. Thank you. I got to max payout on my 150K next gen today. I'm so psyched. Y'all give it up for Juice from Bear. I don't know what next gen is, but congratulations on getting to the max payout. So, and then as y'all see, right, what price did, we traded up here, right, as we were going up in price today, right, as we moved up, we're moving up into this premium wick right here, right, moving up into this premium wick. We went just above consequent encroachment, tapped the upper octant, but remember that level on the weekly was up here, right? And then we started to fail, right? We were unable to hit our weekly level, right? And we started to fail. So that's showing weakness because we can't reach our higher time frame, right? But now we got our lower time frame octants where we can make trading decisions on the intraday time frames. And then now that I'm sitting here talking about it, we also have an inversion, an implied fair value gap right there also, right? Got an implied fair value gap there, which is very tiny, right? Traded up just above the implied fair value gap and then drop back down. I'm gonna change these to red, and I want to see how, no, I'm changing to blue, and I want to see how price reacted to those on the lower time frame, since those just got put on my radar when I just was sitting here talking. I want to see what price did with that on the intraday time frame. All right, so now right now we're just paying attention to the upper wick, the premium wick. We're just paying attention to the premium wick. We're not paying attention to the rest of this down here. All right, drop down to a 1 minute time frame, and we're going to cut off everything. We're going to cut off everything prior to dropping down into, what time is this here? That's Friday. Oh, this one we opened up here. So that's when we opened up. We got some back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Right, and then we'll cut off everything to here. Right, because this is when we started the drop down right there. All right, so that's what we opened up, and we opened up right there. All right, that's what we opened, as we see. All right, so we open up, we drop down into the lower, the discount peaked, what's the name first, right? I was focusing on the upper one, but when price opened up, now we see that we dropped down into the discount wick first, right? And zoom out, make it big for those that's watching it on like cell phones and stuff like that. All right, so we opened up and we dropped down into the discount wick from Friday, came all the way down to the upper quadrant. Right, let's make these numbers big so that we can see what the levels are. 12. That should be big enough. Can y'all see that font? Is 12 font big enough for y'all to see? Is 12 font big enough for y'all to see the numbers on there? YouTube?
See them.
You can make them a little bigger though. I won't be mad.
All right. How about that? That's good?
Yep.
Yes, that's good.
All right. So as you see here, we dropped down. We opened up, had a quick pop up, right? We had a quick pop up, right? Went up here, took out short-term sell side, buy side, and engineered relative equal highs. Then we turned around, dropped down. The first when we popped up, right? We wicked above the lower octant, engineered buy side liquidity, failing to get to the lower quadrant. Dropped down, came all the way down to the upper quadrant of the discount wick, right? The low on this candle here is 29,325 even, right? And you see the upper quadrant is 29,300 and a quarter even, right? To the tick, went to that that upper quadrant to the tick, right? Then as you see, right, body's not able to close below the upper octant, right? Using that upper octant as support. Then we start to move up, came back up to that lower quadrant. That lower octant, right? So price, we came up and we paused here, right? Notice what price did here as we were going past this level, which was the low of the premium wick, and dropped down into the high of the discount wick. We created a SIBI right there, right? That wasn't a mistake. When we came back over here and we traded back up into that low, we created a BIGSPIDER. That wasn't a mistake. These bus stops, right? The algorithm remembers when it be doing stuff, right? And then if we look here, right, I think I talked about this with the gang last night. I'm not sure if I did. All right, but if we look here and we come from, if we come here from the low of the premium wick, right, if we come from the low of the premium wick and go to the high of the discount wick, right, 27 even, and those are backwards, so that's gonna drive me crazy. But right, this right here, who knows what this is right here? Somebody that, if I went over it last night with the gang, you was on there, don't say nothing, right? But anybody else, what does this level right here represent? This line right here, when I just drew that fib from that low of that wick to the high of that wick right there. Anybody? I'm looking in the chat. No, not mitigation block. I said this line. What does this line right here represent? Right, that fib line, when I anchored it to the low of that wick and the high of that wick right there, what does that fib line right there represent? Come on, here, learn to share. Don't make me,
Is it event horizon?
Yes. Event horizon. And here to learn to share, you getting this right here. Top of some 50%. we know it's 50%. We know that. Talk about 50%. Yeah, event horizon, right? And then notice what the algorithm did right here. It created a bullish fair value gap right there at event horizon, right? What happens if we grade event horizon, right? If you grade event horizon, what does that give you, right? That gives you how many you do. I did 4 bus stops right there, right? They give you bus stops right there, right? So any algorithmic area that you grade, it's going to do something algorithmic at these bus stops, right? And we create a BISI right there at event horizon. We utilize that BISI when we pull back into it with these 2 down close candles. Then we trade up when we offer that price right there. That's a bullish order block, right? Showing that price is respecting bullish order flow, right? We're staying above these down close candles. It's respecting bullish order flow and continue to respect bullish order flow. And as we trade into this level here, right, this bullish fair value gap, not only does it connect to that level, but it also connects to that quadrant right there, right? So it's going to create these PD arrays in key places, right? You're going to be able to notice, okay, I'm on side with the algorithm. The algorithm is showing me certain things. It's showing me that it's creating these things, right? You're going to be able to follow along with it, okay? And then notice here, right? We get back up there, right? Where do we go? That octant there, right? Then we move up. We create a BISI at that quadrant there. Then we move up where? To that octant there, right? We create a BISI there. We sit there for a minute. We drop down, manipulate out sell side, cannot get to the quadrant. Then we rally up, right? When we rally up, what do we rally up to? We rally up and we go all the way up into that octant there. Okay, we go above consequent encroachment, right? Remember, consequent encroachment is right here, right? You see the 0.5, and then remember this blue line, these blue lines here, right? This is the implied fair value gap that we just noticed, right? That's the implied fair value gap that we just noticed. Okay, what is price doing right there, right? It's hanging out inside that implied fair value gap. When it popped up there, took out that high, it dropped back down. What's this right here? A failure swing, right? You get a failure swing right there, right? So we touch that octant, we get a failure swing. And when is this failure swing occurring? When we can't get to that Let's go see where it is. Go to the weekly time frame. If we go to the weekly time frame, this is that weekly quadrant right there. All right. Okay, so come back down to our 1 minute time frame here. Right, come back down to our 1 minute time frame. Now we come up to this octant there, fail to get to the upper quadrant, right? Getting a failure swing, right? We take the liquidity, drop down back into the bullish PD array, trade back up, fail to take out the high, fail to hit that octant, get the failure swing. So we're failing to get to the daily wick upper quadrant, and we're failing to get to our weekly suspension block upper quadrant, right? So we're failing on the daily and we're failing on the weekly to reach their showing weakness, right? So once we show the weakness there, okay, we come all the way down into the first BIGSPIDER that was created on this move up right there, right? Once we hit that BIGSPIDER, it pushes us back up into, right, the low of that implied fair value gap we talked about, right? Push us back up into bearish order block, push us back up into that bearish order block right there at the failure swing, right? And we're coming all the way back up to the order block, right? This is our order block here. We got another order block there, but we're high resistance. We're coming all the way back up to the order block. We came to this last up close candle, and then this right here is the highest up close candle right there, right? So we're coming back up into that area there, right? And then we start to drop again. We come back down, but where are we doing this at? Right around that octant, right around consequent encroachment, right? All of this is all of these PD arrays, where are they resting, right? Consequent encroachment right there. This is the first imbalance made off of displacement leaving this area, right? Consequent encroachment, close back below it. You're looking for it to act as an inversion, right? The first did some algorithmic in line with a quadrant, right? Looking for it to act as an inversion fair value gap when you get back below it. Okay. We got a bearish order block in line with a quadrant, right? This bearish order block right here in line with a quadrant. Okay, we didn't make it to that octant, but we're right here at this quadrant right there, the 0.5. It's hard to see because we got that blue line on top of it, but you can see the number right there, right? Then come back up, we touch that area there, right? Touch that area there, come down, displace down, right? This is at 8:15 p.m. and we come all the way back down, as you see here, right, down to the lower quadrant, right, of this event horizon area there, right? Drop all the way down to the lower quadrant. Then once we drop to the lower quadrant, we pop back above event horizon, and then we just hover around event horizon right there, right, for a little while, right? Where does price tend to consolidate at equilibrium, at some type of fair value, right? But if you don't know anything about event horizon in between these two PD arrays, right, you'll be wondering, why do we pause for a second there? Why do we pause right there, right? But there's no algorithm, okay? And then all right, then we move back up, right? We come back up here to when above the lower quadrant of the premium wick, right? Pulled back down to the lower octant, pushed up, came above, took out buy side liquidity, right? Took out buy side liquidity, and then we came up, right? As Michael talks about all the time with a 3 drives pattern, right? We came up, right? Came up, and then came down, started taking out the lows, right? We actually started taking out the lows here. That first break of the low right there, that's your breaking structure. That's your bearish breaking structure there, all right? But the whole time, right, even though when we come above this octant here and we trade up, right, into that wick right there, where we failing to get to, we're failing to get to consequent encroachment, right? But we're right here primarily staying inside that SIBI right there. That's the first SIBI as we drop down with this move here, and it's in line with these bus stops right there, right? Sit there, then we break down, right? As you can see, prices just stair stepping back down these octants, right? Come to the low, right? Back up to the lower octant, right? Right around the CBE open, the Globex open right there, right? Drop down, right? And then we come down. That's when I cut it off, because now we're back down here, down into the discount wick. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the meat back on the bone for the rest of the time. Then we're going to look at where we at here. All right. So here, when we drop down into the discount wick here around 10 p.m., right? As you see, we rally back up, right? We come back up here and we're hanging out. Oh, before we go on, let's come back here, right? Let's come back over here for a second, right? As you see over here, right? As you see over here, once we open, this is all we did Friday. Once we opened up here, right? Once we rallied up here and took out this buy side there, hit that octant there and drop down, right? Where did the short opportunities come into play? In the premium or the discount of that daily wick. Here we came up, took that out. Once we got that failure swing there and price started to go back up, where did the short opportunities come into play at? Remember, this is when we started the day, right? This is when we attacked buy side and displaced away, right? When did the short opportunity start? And the premium of the discount of that premium wick from Friday. Anybody?
Yeah.
Huh?
Premium. Premium of, yeah.
What's this right here? What do we say? What do we say?
That's
That, what is that right there? What did I just circle right there?
50%.
Yes. What does that 50% represent to that premium wick?
Equilibrium.
Equilibrium. So I say again, where did the short
discount
in the discount? And when price is bearish, where are you? Where did Michael teach your best short opportunities are going to reside? Remember, I always
in
talk
a discount.
In the discount of what? You got to finish the whole thing. See, you're gonna begin our misinformation. I'm gonna hit you with it again. It's gonna apply in the discount of what?
The dealing range?
No. What is this wick? This wick represents what?
That's the premium wick. The discount of the premium wick.
The discount of a premium PD array.
PD array.
You can't just say in the discount, because you say in the discount, that's when it's going to get confusing, right? So your best shorting opportunities are going to come in the discount of a premium PD array, right? So as we're watching, right, and this just jumped on my spirit. What's up, son? What's going on? Y'all, hold on. I was on. Yeah, so yeah, this just like kind of jumped. This kind of jumped in my spirit while I was talking just now, right? So um I know it's a lot going on right now. So we're gonna hide this, right? And we're gonna hide this, right? Um we're not gonna hide that, but we're gonna hide. I don't even really need that. All right, don't really need that. Don't really need that. Okay. So this right here is our premium PD rate. All right. Looking at price. All right. Where we opened up here. Right. This is our premium PD rate from the daily time frame that we're watching. Right. We know that this line right here represents that upper quadrant of the weekly time frame that we're watching. Right. We come up, we take out buy side liquidity there. Right. We take out buy side liquidity there. So now this right here is our right, at a high right there. We drop down, right? Take out sell side liquidity there, right? Got us a bearish breaking market structure there after that failure swing there. And then we plummet down, take out sell side liquidity there, right? So what happens when we take out buy side and then buy side liquidity and then take out sell side liquidity? What's created? Hmm? What's created when we take out buy
A
side?
dealing range.
Yes, a dealing range. So we got this dealing range right here, right? Now we got this bearish dealing range that was formed, right? After we had a failure swing, couldn't get to the upper quadrant of our daily and upper quadrant of our weekly PD arrays, right? So now we got a bearish breaking market structure, right? And then price comes back to, now watch this here, right? I'm going to just put a line right here, right? And then I'm going to hide the premium PD array, right? That line right there represents equilibrium of the premium PD array, right? Everything above that line is a premium. Everything below that line is a discount, right? Now, this is our high, this is our low of our dealing range, right? If we
Okay, how is that equilibrium? Did you say that's equilibrium?
of its consequent encroachment, but it's when you're looking at it as premium and discount, that's why I'm like just saying equilibrium, right? That's consequent encroachment of our premium PD array, right? Remember, I hit it if I unhide the see, this is our
Okay, got you. Ooh, I was like, whoa.
yeah,
Okay.
that's our premium PD array. So that's consequent encroachment of that wick, right? But when we're looking at it as far as premium and discount, that's premium, that's discount, right? Let's do it like this right here. So to eliminate any confusion, right? So go here like this, right? The green, is premium, and the red, hold on, coordinates 5650, 29,456.5, and 29,374 even. Red. Okay. That's on there. Then this right here, 29,456.5. Uh-oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Click. 456 even. All right. Okay, so now I can hide this. Now, and then I don't need this no more, right? So discount of our premium PD array, premium of our premium PD array, right? So we go up, dealing range high, drop down, dealing range low. Now we just formed a new bearish dealing range. So now we're watching our new bearish dealing range right there. Right. If we come here, right, we see we come back to a premium, right? Because that's equilibrium of our bearish dealing range. We come back to a premium, right? We have our bearish order block in line with that quadrant, right? Bearish mitigation block in line with that quadrant, okay? So we trade up into it. The first BISI that takes off, right, and does some algorithmic in line with that quadrant right there. Trade back up to that quadrant, right? So we're getting a shorting opportunity in the premium of our dealing range, but it's all happening in the discount of our premium PD array.
Let him cook! I said let him cook!
If y'all ain't get that one now, go ahead and rewind the stream and watch that a couple times. All right. So, and then we know that we see the business over here. We came down, we came down into the discount wick, right? We traded back up, went above midnight there, right? We already know that some of the, find the, right there, right? We already know that some of, okay, there we go. That's our discount wick there. And then we came down, that's our daily suspension block. All right. So over here, we're just gonna start at midnight. So at midnight, as we can see, we're right around consequent encroachment of the discount wick, right? That's the discount wick there, because the premium wick was up there, right? So we're inside the discount wick now, right? We're just gonna kind of speed through it because y'all get it now, right? Utilizing these octants, right? Hovering around consequent encroachment, consolidating around consequent encroachment, consolidating around the midnight open, right? We break down, right? We got a heavy displacement down here, getting ready to go into the London kill zone, right? And then once we get to the London kill zone here around 130, we displace down again into the daily suspension block, right? Can't make it to the upper quadrant, right? Come over here, right? Take out that sell side liquidity, right? Can't make it to the upper quadrant. Then we come back up, drop down again, right? Got a long opportunity here to take you back up, right? Above the buy side, all this buy side liquidity that was being engineered, right? And just like we talked about with the short opportunities, right? In the discount of a premium PD array, right? Where did this long opportunity set up? In the premium, remember this is the upper quadrant, that's the upper octant, and consequent encroachment is all the way down here. We're in the
Let
premium,
me answer.
right? Go ahead.
In a premium of the discount PDO rate.
Oh man. Come on. Right. So we drop down, right? Create a low, right? Consolidate there, come down, manipulate out the low, displace away. We hang around, right? These quadrants here, then we drop down into our discount PD rate. There's a BISI there if you can't see it, right? We can see a small little, area that should act as a bullish breaker, but we go into that BISI right there and we rally up and come all the way back up to consequent encroachment of the lower wick, taking out all of this buy side liquidity that was being engineered ever since this drop right here going into the London kill zone open, and this is transpiring going at the New York pre-market, right? So we're coming and attacking this London liquidity during the New York pre-market, right? Then we drop back down, right? We come over here, right? Failure, cannot get back to the lower quadrant of the discount wick, right? Can't get back to the lower quadrant of the discount wick. And so now when we look here, right, again, can't make this stuff up, right? We come down, right? Come up here, right? Then we start to drop down right there, boop, right there. So now when we pop up there, take out that, consolidate in there, right? When we pop up there and manipulate that right there, this right here, this is the overall range right there, right? That's the latest expansion of that overall range, right? If we look at our latest expansion, right? If we look at our overall range, right? Either one of them you look at, I'll just put it right here on just one line right there. Look at our overall range right there, right? We came up, right? Took out buy side, we came down, took out sell side, right? Traded around in here a little bit. After this little displacement down, we went into our 930 open, right? We popped up and manipulated out that buy side, right? But what are we trading up into? That SIBI right there, right? That's the first SIBI that was created on this move down, is touching that octant there, right? Touching that octant right there. And where's this happening? In the discount of a premium PD array, right? This short opportunity was set up in the discount of a premium PD array, right? 930, pop above that short-term high, boom, give up the ghost, and we run all the way down to that octant right there of the daily suspension block, right? Unable to trade to consequent encroachment, right? Shout out to my brother who took his first trade today. Now, I told him, you entered at the wrong point, but because he said, we not gonna go with price not going no lower than that low right there, right? And I was like, as long as it get back above that fair value gap right there, you should be good, right? But he was entering, right? He wanted to enter off of, it was out, I think it was a 5-minute SIB, something over here. He wanted to enter in off something over here. I think it was like a 5-minute SIB. Right, let me check that. I can't remember because he sent me a recording. Yeah, right here, right there, a 5-minute SIB right there, right? So he knew that this was the low, and he wanted to trade off of this, but he traded off the bottom of it instead of trading off the top of it, right? That's where he went wrong, right? If that's the gap, instead of trading like that, he was trading coming up into it to keep going up and had to sit through all of this right here, right? And that's nerve-wracking for me, let alone somebody who taking a very first trade. Let alone somebody who taking a very first trade to enter here. No, to enter here, right there, right? Coming back above there, touching the 5 minute, and then have to sit through all of this here. Because you know that's the low, but you're sitting through all of this. That's why I told I when he sent me the text, I said, if we get back above this, you should be good, right? And so we got the closure above, right? We traded back down into it one more time into the order block, and then, you know what I'm saying, it was off to the races, you know. But shout out Lump for taking his very first trade, and his very first trade being not only being a successful trade, but gave him some real life experience of sitting through massive drawdown, coming real close to your stop loss. All kind of real life examples. All right, and then as you see here, right, same old story, right? We're utilizing the octants of the daily suspension block to climb our way all the way back up to the low of the the low of the Jesus, I can't even think. I can't think because I'm trying to erase that, but I'm still on the pencil tool, right? The low of the discount wick. Man, y'all had me struggling, right? Came back up to the low of the discount wick, even popped up to the lower octant. Took out some internal buy side, right? Internal buy, reason why I call it internal buy side, because this right here was our range that we created. Remember, we popped up at 930, manipulated out that buy side, then displaced away, right? Traded all the way back above the internal buy side, right? Didn't take out the high, and then start to move back down into the range, right? And kind of just hung out at that upper octant. Look here, man. If y'all ain't learned something today, and guess what? Everything that we talked about today, we've talked about it a gazillion times. Is there anybody on here who didn't hear the stuff that we talked about before? The stuff that we talked about today is your first time hearing any of this stuff that we talked about today?
Hey, I guess my problem is marking out my octants. Now, when I go to the daily, I'm cool on the daily because I'm either marking out the premium or the discount wick of a candle. So I'm good on that. But then when you start dropping lower and you start going different places, then I think that's where I get thrown off.
Okay.
So if I'm the daily and
You're
I see
doing
a
the
daily,
same thing when you drop down. Just do you're doing the exact same thing. You're not doing anything different on the lower time frame than what you do. So whatever you're marking out on the daily time frame, you're just going in and, like, for example, on a daily time frame, right? We're gonna come to the daily time frame here, right? Go to my daily time frame there, right? Now, tell me something you're gonna put octants on in the daily time frame on this daily chart right here. What are you gonna mark out
yesterday's wick, yesterday's daily wick,
for the premium
right
or
there,
discount?
discount.
Okay, for the discount. Now, Tell me, why are you marking the
No,
octave?
not there, not there.
Okay.
Right there. That's
Okay.
where.
All right. All right. Now tell me why you marking that out.
Because that's the closest PD array next to price.
Okay, that's the closest PD array next to price, but all right, so that's your closest PD array, that's your closest, you know, imbalance. Like, you want to understand, why are you marking it, right? So it's not just that it's the closest PD array to price, right? Right here, this is your current discount imbalance, right?
Right.
That's your current discount imbalance, because you got this
Okay.
imbalance and then you got this imbalance over here, right?
Right.
You got that imbalance over there, but this is the closest imbalance to you. So before you want to start watching this imbalance, you want to see what price does with that imbalance right there. Okay.
Correct.
So that's why you want to understand, why am I putting this on my chart? I'm putting this on my chart because this reason, right? So now when you go down in price, right? So that's your daily time frame, right? And then what's the next time frame you go down to?
The 5 minute.
Okay, it took you a long time to say that. You sure about that? You go to the
No,
5 minute
that's
next?
the yeah, because I usually trade off the 5 minute.
Okay, so you're going straight from the daily to the 5 minute, right? You're going from the daily to the 5 minute. You ain't going nowhere in between. I want to do it the way you would do it.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
I'm telling you what I do.
Okay, so now you're on the 5 minute time frame, right? You already know, right, why you mark this out right there. Now, when you're looking at your 5 minute time frame, okay, looking at your 5 minute time frame, you want to mark out PD arrays that, one, um support your narrative, bullish or bearish, and are in conjunction with your higher time frame PD array, right? So
Okay.
looking at price, right? What PD array would you choose to watch on this 5 minute time frame? Now remember, you marked out a discount PD array, right, on the daily time frame, right? You're marking out, because this is where price was at before we opened. So you're marking out a discount PD array. So since you're marking out a discount PD array, right, you put it on there because this is your closest imbalance in the discount, right? So why are you marking out a discount PD array? Are you looking for it to see if it gives you support, or are you looking for it to see if it fails and then act as resistance? These are the things you want to know. Okay. So right now, since price is heavy, price is in a sale program, right? You mark out discount PD arrays. You want to see if it tries to offer support, but since we're in a sale program, you want to see it fail and then act as resistance, right?
Yes.
But we always want to, we got to allow it to do its job. All right. So we got that. Now we know why we put the daily on there. So since we marked out our discount PD array on the daily, and we want to see, does this provide support or do it fail and offer resistance, right? Now you want to look for PD arrays on your 5 minute time frame to um for the same reason, right? So now inside your daily PD array that you marked out, right? You just look for the 5 minute PD arrays that you're anticipating to do the same thing, right? And you want to look for the 5 minute PD arrays that align with the bus stops that should do the same thing. Now you're looking for important PD arrays on the 5 minute time frame that align with the octants on the daily, and then those are the PD arrays that you're watching. Now, since you're jumping straight from the daily to the 5-minute, right? You're not giving yourself any other intraday higher time frame. You ain't giving yourself no intraday anticipatory reactionary points. You're going straight from the daily to the entry, right? Which ain't nothing wrong with that, but you got to know now I'm on my entry time frame, so now I got to be spot on with my PD arrays that I'm picking, right? Because I'm not giving myself any other PD arrays to go off of. I'm going straight from the daily to my entry time frame. And like I say, ain't nothing wrong with that, but you just want to be aware of the time frames that you're marking, right? So now looking at what you got going on here and what we said, right? What PD arrays would you identify on the 5-minute where you says, okay, I'm watching this to see if it offers support. I want to see it fail and then be used as resistance.
So I will be looking at those fair value gaps on the left side of the chart to see if those are in fact turned into an inversion fair value gap.
About over
I
here?
mean, yes, over there to
Okay.
to see if price is going to keep selling.
Okay, which one? You got to put something on your chart to have a reason to watch it. Which one?
Yeah, I can't. If you go to the right there, the first, that one right there.
Right here?
No, up.
Right here?
That one. I would mark that off.
Okay. And why are you marking that off?
I'm marking that off because that PD array it trades right into the bus stop points.
Okay. Let me find my
That one,
why can't I find
and
my
so does the next one.
okay. All right. And when you say so does the next one, what we talking about?
Next fair value gap.
I'm saying which, like we got this one, and then when you say the next one, which one you talking about?
The one down from that. The one
Here?
down from that. Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna stop you right there. If you're gonna mark this one, only mark this one. If you're gonna mark that one, only mark that one. Pick the one. Pick the one. That's the one that should be the one you're watching, and mark that. You don't want to mark every single PD array on there.
Okay.
You only want to mark the one that should support or invalidate your thesis.
Okay.
All right. You only want to mark the ones that's going to support or invalidate your thesis. Okay. So if you're watching, right? So if you're watching this right here, right? You want to watch this. Why? Because this is the first one made off of displacement outside of this area. So if we close back below it, you want to see it be used as an inversion fair value gap because we're bearish right now, right? So that's why you would be watching that, right? If you're watching this one here, you're watching that because that's the first one that's created when it took off, and it's also in line with this first SIBI that was created. So we got this balanced price range right there. So if we get back below that, we want to see it be used as an inversion fair value gap. You want to know why am I marking it on the chart, right? So now if you're marking this one here, right, that is a PD array on that side, and then you come back over here, right, we have that BISI there and that SIBI there, right? So you got that BISI, it's the first one created as we went up there. So now since you're on your entry time frame, you don't have anything else now, right? You want to be watching this. Do we close below that, right? But since we're so close to price here, right, me personally, I'll be watching this to see if we get back below it because we've done something over here. We're still creating price over here. You see what I'm saying? But you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You're still watching that, right? So that when we come back down here, if we, right, if we get back below this right here, now this right here is going to be an inversion fair value gap inside of that breaker leg right there. So now that's why you're watching that one once we break past there, right? So all you're doing is going in the same thing that you did on the higher time frame when you looked at, oh, I'm looking at this wick right here because that's the closest imbalance to price as we're going down. We're in a sell program, so I want to see us get down below this. But since it's a higher time frame, I'm monitoring how we stair step down these octants, and since I'm watching how we stair step down these octants, now on my entry time frame, I'm looking at PD arrays, important PD arrays on the 5-minute that align with these octants, right? And then when it aligns with the octants, I still want to make sure that when I'm looking at my 5-minute ranges, right? When I'm looking at my 5-minute ranges, that right, that they align with bus stops, right? I want my 5-minute, they got to align with bus stops on my 5-minute range also, right? So
So you did the low to the high on that the dealer range on
yeah,
the dealer range. Yeah.
yes. Right now, this right here is the latest expansion, right, of
Right.
this entire range right there, right? So
Right.
this right here, right, that's the lowest low and the highest high of this dealing range right here, right? Because when we were coming down, right, from the morning, right, this was our, where's my, oh, it's down there. I'm like, where's my thing? I couldn't see it, right? As we was coming down, like from the morning, as we dropped down there, then we rallied back up here, right? So we dropped down, took out sell side, rallied back up here, took out buy side, right? So now we got that dealing range there, right? This is our dealing range right here, right? And as you see, as we was going up, we was making PD arrays, right? That's in line with these octants, right? All these PD arrays that's being aligned with these octants, right? And then you can see here now, we've come back down to equilibrium of the overall range, right? But as we're watching price, right? Initially, when you're initially watching it, right? This is the latest expansion that you're looking at for, because you're always looking for your trading opportunities inside the latest expansion, right? And then now that we've come all the way down here, right? We've come all the way back down. Now we're looking at our overall range because we've come back down to a discount of our overall range now. And we can still see inside this 5-minute range, our entire range there, right? The 5-minute PD arrays that we're watching, right? They are still in line with these bus stops on the 5-minute time frame, and they also line up with the bus stops of the higher time frame, right? You're just you're doing the same thing on different levels. You're looking at the, it's not just one thing you're watching. You're watching the gradients of my higher time frame. You're watching the gradients of my dealing range. You're watching the gradients of my PD arrays that I want to enter in on. You're watching, because all the gradients do is help you fine tune your
entries and
entry.
exits.
Yes, it just help you fine tune your entries and exits. That's what the gradients do. And the gradients, they show you where your entries and exits are going to present themselves. It's predicting where it's going to happen in the future. Once you know what I'm saying, once you really start drilling down, it's showing you where your opportunity is going to lie.
Gotcha.
So you know what I'm saying, it makes sense to you now, or getting a little bit clearer.
Yes, it does. It does.
All right. Anybody else got anything?
Just trying to add value.
Just trying to add value. Shout out Cassandra for pulling up with the hard hitting question. Tim, how exactly we know that it's a valid PD array? You still in here, Core Cravers? Core Cravers, are you still in here? All right, Core Cravers. When you say valid PD array, right? I think I understand what you're asking, but just for me to clarify, right? A valid PD array is going to be something that the algorithm should utilize in support or in validation of the order flow, right? Your thesis of the order flow. Now, when it comes to the short, easy answer is PD arrays that align with the bus stops of the dealing range that you're in. That's the short, easy answer, right? That's the short, quick, hip pocket, easy answer. Now, the more in-depth thing that you got to understand is, are we in bullish or bearish order flow, right? So if you are in bearish order flow, okay, if you're in bearish order flow, you want to identify, right? You want to wait until price creates a bearish dealing range and then identify PD arrays in the premium of that bearish dealing range that support that narrative. Okay, for example, right, I'm gonna go to a 1 minute time frame because that usually gives you an opportunity to see a lot of examples. Okay, and then I'm just gonna hide everything right now so I can only see what I'm looking at right here. All right, let's go over here to some price where stuff already happened so that we can, right, learn to see what it looks like. All right, so let's come right here. This I already know this is going to be a good area to look. Before I even stretch everything out, right, I can look at this area right here and tell this is going to be a good area to look. All right, so let's highlight this area right here. We'll highlight this area right here, right? And then gonna make it orange. Okay, and we're not gonna extend it. I know y'all be like, man, you asked him one question and he gonna go into this long dissertation. You know why? Because anybody who just tell you, oh, it's just this simple, they lying to you. If somebody tell you, oh, it's this simple, tell them to kick rocks. Say, man, get, move your raws. All right. So, valid PD array. Okay. Now, right? I seen something pop up, but then Juices and Bears took it off. Okay, valid PD arrays. Okay, so as you see here, right? This is our six. This happened to be our 6 o'clock open that I just went back to. I ain't even noticed that, right? So we pop up here, create a high, pop down there, create a low, right? And then we rally up there and create a high, right? So now, what type of, now remember, time and price is important too, right? So this right there is 7 o'clock, right? So this is what I like to call pre-game, right? And 7 o'clock is when we start really locking in, right? Because this is like the pre-market for the Asian, right? And then your Asian open is here, right? And we're going to make that orange. No, we're not going to make that orange. We can't see that. We're going to make that black. And we're going to make it just a straight line, a dashed line. All right. Okay. Pre-game, right? We drop down, right? Start moving back up, right? Now, we're moving to the time when we start really paying attention to price, right? We don't throw the baby out with the bathwater over here, right? But we're moving into the time when now we're expecting stuff to start to transpire, right? And so when we come up here, right, and we get there into our 8 o'clock open right there, right? When we get to our 8 o'clock open, we see that we got a low. We got a low here, right? That's the lowest low, right? That took out sell side liquidity, right? And we got a high over here. That's the highest high that took out buy side liquidity, right? And then we go into the 8 o'clock, right? And we start to pull back a little bit there. So now this right here, what type of dealing range? What type of dealing range is that right there? Bullish or bearish?
Bullish.
All right. We got a bullish dealing range right there. Okay. And okay, bullish. I'm talking to core cravers, by the way. Y'all don't be cheating for. Right. So you got a bullish dealing range, core cravers, right? So now order flow, overall order flow is bearish right now. Right? Overall order flow is bearish. So we're looking for a price to create a bearish dealing range because order flow is bearish. So we're looking for price to create a bearish dealing range before we even start looking for valid PD arrays, because we're just trying to trade with the overall order flow. We're not trying to trade against the grain. We're doing it, the simplest way as possible, the safest way possible for any trader, new or experienced, right? We want to follow higher time order flow. Okay. So when we move over here, right? So when we move over here like this, we see that when we came up here, right, we took out buy side liquidity. And then when we drop down here, right, we took out sell side liquidity. So now we leave that down there, right, because this is still that bullish dealing range. But now we have formed a bearish dealing range. And I'm going to make this some dashes so that we can know the difference between the two. Now we have formed a bearish dealing range inside of this bullish dealing range. And so now that we formed a bearish dealing range here, right, now we want to grade our bearish dealing range. And then we want, it's bearish, so we want to come to a premium above consequent encroachment, right? And we want to find PD arrays over here that should support the bearish narrative, right? So when we come in here, right, we come in here like this, we see here that we have this SIBI here, right? This SIBI here is the first one made off displacement as we're leaving this area right here, right? So we got that SIBI there. First one made off displacement as we're leaving that area, right? This is on the 1 minute time frame. So everything on the 1 minute time frame, remember, you want to have like higher time frame confluence with this stuff, right? So we're going to check that in a minute once we mark this out. right? But you would have that other stuff marked out first. But since we're on the 1 minute, I'm just looking for the examples, right? So, and then when we look on this side of the curve, right, we have this inversion fair value gap, right? Because that's the first BISI created off displacement, right, outside of this area there. So now, right, that BISI there is important, okay? And that BISI is important because, right, it's the first one, right? It's the first one that was created, right, as we went into taking out this liquidity there. And it's in line with this upper quadrant, right? All right, so you got that BISI, you got this SIBI, right? And then we got a host of PD arrays inside here, right? If you trade other PD arrays, you would just pick out your PD array inside this area here, right? Whatever you trade over there. It's a lot going on, right? Bearish mitigation block right here, right? Bearish mitigation block right there. A lot going on, right? Premium wick right there, whatever, right? But so now you got your inversion fair value gap, you got your SIBI. Now, right, looking at our bearish breaker that's in line with this octant right here, right? What do we want to put the priority on with this bearish breaker? That inversion fair value gap that's inside our breaker block, right? We're looking at that inversion because it falls inside our breaker block, and that's the not only is it the first BISI before we took off, that right there is the last bullish fair value gap before we took this liquidity and then broke down, right? So that right there, all of this, you get stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks, right? Your imbalance before taking liquidity and breaking down, the first off of displacement in line with a quadrant, right? All of this stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks, right? So now let's jump to, like, we'll look at a 15-minute real quick to see if anything over there. Right, we're just checking the higher time frame. This stuff you'll already have marked out if right, so this is 8 o'clock. Right, so 8 o'clock here. All right, on the 15-minute here, we have a bearish order block, right? So on the 15-minute time frame, we got a bearish order block right here. Change this to orange. I just make it blue. I'm not going to extend it. All right, we got a bearish order block on the 15-minute time frame. Looking at our 5-minute time frame, same bearish order block on our 5-minute time frame. Right. So now we got good confluence. Oh, and we are on the 5-minute. We also got a bearish propulsion block. Right. So we got a bearish propulsion block on the 5-minute inside our, and we also got a bearish inversion fair value gap too. So on the 5-minute time frame, there's a bearish inversion fair value gap right there. Right. So, right, that's important. Right. So I'm just going to put consequent encroachment of this right here so it ain't so many lines. All right. So now on my 5-minute time frame, right, I'm watching that inversion fair value gap, right? If you watch order blocks, you're watching that propulsion block, you're watching that order block, right? That's what your 5-minute time frame is giving you as you go into 8 o'clock. Highest high, lowest low, right? Got a bearish order block over there. When we drop down now, right, we create our range and we create our bearish dealing range. Right, we create our bearish dealing range there. When we drop down, there, right? When we dropped down there, we created our bearish dealing range, right? As price was going, we said this was our 5 minute. We had a 5 minute fair value. What was my 5 minute? 5 minute fair value gap. Where did it go? Oh, that was it, I think. Oh, the wick, the tool. All right, y'all got to keep me in line, man. Okay, so this right here is consequent encroachment of the 5 minute fair value gap, right? Those dots there, right? That's consequent encroachment of my 5 minute inversion fair value gap. Same thing on the 1 minute, right? It's the last imbalance that was created before taking out liquidity and displacing. It was the first one created off of displacement above the high, right? And it's in line with that octant of our dealing range, right? So when we come down to our 1 minute time frame, right, and we're looking at now, this is where I want price to get to on the 5 minute time frame, right? So now this is where I want price to get to on the 5 minute time frame. So now, since I know I want price to get there on the 5 minute time frame, right? Let's make this a different color. That ain't good. That ain't really good. Right now, since this is where I want price to get to on my 5 minute time frame, and you would do this right, you would do it from the higher time frame down. Since I know this is where I want price to come on the 5 minute time frame, now I know I'm not going to be focusing on this SIBI right here. I'm going to be focusing on the inversion fair value gap there, because this is where I want price to come to on my 5 minute time frame. So now I'm not going to be focusing on this SIBI right here, right? Even though, yes, it is on that octant, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, but for the entry purposes, right, I'm looking at this inversion fair value gap, and I'm looking at, right, this bearish order block, because it's resting inside of this propulsion block on the 5 minute time frame. And anytime you got a propulsion block, you don't want to see a closure above mean threshold, right, which would be here. You don't want to see that closure on the 5 minute time frame. So you don't want no 5 minute to close above that, right? This is where you're looking to get short on the 5 minute, right? It's in line with the 1 minute that you're looking to get short on, right? So when price comes back up to it, right, you're looking to short off your 1 minute fair value inversion fair value gap, because it's aligned with your 5 minute inversion fair value gap. Okay, so that's how you go find valid PD arrays, right? You understand what's the order flow. The order flow is bearish, right? Since the order flow is bearish, right, I'm not trying to look for bearish PD arrays until I form a bearish dealing range. Then once I form a bearish dealing range, right, now I'm looking in the premium of that bearish dealing range, right, for PD arrays in the premium that should act as resistance, right? Here's my higher time frame SIBI, right? And now my higher time frame SIBI aligns with my lower time frame inversion fair value gap, and aligns with my lower time frame bearish order block. So now there's my confluence there, consequent encroachment of my 5 minute SIBI and the low, right, of my 1 minute inversion fair value gap, all meeting up at the upper quadrant of my dealing range. Stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks, right? That makes sense to your core cravers? Or did I just lose you with a whole bunch of lines and word salad? I'm going to take the thank you as a yes. You're welcome. That was kind of good. I got to give y'all one of these right here, man.
Let him cook! I said let him cook!
Anybody else got anything? Y'all do me a favor, hit like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel if you ain't subscribed. Hey man, tomorrow is the last day for the $49 for Apex evaluations. $49 all in when you use the code BIGSPIDER for 50K 50K intraday trailing drawdown, no activation fee. Right? $49.
The one for the 59 activation fee, what is the code for that? Because I tried to put it in and it's coming up with it's not coming up with that amount. I get one that's coming up for $55. It's not even giving the prices for the 90% off.
If you want to, okay, so if you want the 90% off, put in code BIGSPIDER, right? It's gonna give you 90% off, and the $59 is the activation fee after you pass it, right?
Right. So
that's
okay.
that's on any intraday trailing drawdown account, but that sale ends tomorrow for the activation fee. I don't know if they're gonna extend it, right? Because the activation fee, right? Let me pull up the site. Right. The 90% off, they being put out a long time ago that the 90% off, they just wanted to always be 90% off. Right. So the 90% off, I don't think that's ever going anywhere. Right. So right now, you see up here it says the sale ends in 1 day and 3 hours. So tomorrow at 11:59 it ends. And right. So if you come here and you go to like standard intraday trailing drawdowns, right? Any size, when you go to performance account, see it says $59. If you go to the 50K, say $59, 100K, say $59. Any size standard account with intraday trailing drawdown, right now, if you buy it with code BIGSPIDER and you pass it tomorrow, you're going to pay $59 to activate it. But that's not the best bang for your buck right now. Right? The best bang for your buck right now is getting the no activation fee 50K or 100K, right? Intraday trailing drawdown, because it's $49, right? Right now until tomorrow, right? For a 50K account using code BIGSPIDER. And you can bundle them, right? You can bundle them too. So they $49 a piece or $59 a piece. So the $59 activation fee, that's just a special they're running for any intraday trailing drawdown, any size intraday trailing drawdown standard account. That's just a sale they running right now. So you use the same code BIGSPIDER to buy it. And then when you pass it, if you pass it by close of business tomorrow, then you will only pay $59 to activate it. Right? So there's no separate code to get the $59 activation fee. It's just the promo that they're running right now. And even if you purchased a account in the past, right, and you still in your 30-day window of trading it, if you pass it by tomorrow, right, and it's a intraday trailing drawdown account, you will only pay $59 to activate it, as long as you pass it by tomorrow close of business. Right? But like I tell everybody, right now, if you're going to buy buy the no activation fee intraday trailing drawdown 50K or 100K. That's the best deal right now. Right? Because that's only $49 all in. Because if you look at a 50K intraday trailing drawdown, right, you're going to pay $24.90 using the code BIGSPIDER when you check out. And then if you pass it tomorrow, you got to pay $59 to activate it, right? So that's, just say $85. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much that's like $84. You see what I'm saying? Where you could get a 50K for $49 if you just get the no activation fee.
But you still have to pass it by.
No, you got with the intraday no activation fee, if you bought it tonight, you got 30 days to pass it.
Okay, gotcha.
And it's only $49. You don't have, you see what I'm saying? The $59 for the activation fee, that's a special that they're running on their activation fees for all their intraday accounts. Right? So like come Wednesday, if they don't run a new special, I can't remember. I think the 50Ks intraday, I think they might have been like one. Let me
See,
see.
I'm just doing it, and it's saying 55. I don't know why.
For what size?
I put okay.
For what
You
size
said
account?
50K Tradeovate intraday trailing, right? 50K Tradeovate intraday trailing. Okay.
What you got? You pick standard or no activation fee? You trying to get the one that's $49?
Yes.
All right, so pick Tradeovate intraday trail no activation fee. It's gonna say 50K
Okay,
intraday
50K.
trail, 50K intraday trail no activation.
50K Tradeovate.
It's gonna be like a long list, and you just look for the one. It's a 50K intraday no activation fee.
I see.
And then when you click it,
50K Tradeovate in the day trailing.
no,
See that?
intraday trailing. Look for intraday trailing no activation
Right.
fee.
Like I said, it's not. It doesn't have one that comes up there that says. Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. My bad. I see it now. Okay. I was like, what? Yeah, because it kept saying $50, and I'm like $55, and I'm like,
Cause it's a bunch of them. Now it'd be like a bunch of them, and you got to make sure you pick that right one. Cause
no, I got it now. I didn't
like
see that.
on this screen right here, it's easy to see on this screen. But when you get in your dashboard, it's like a little drop down window, and you got to like scroll down this long list, and they all, to me, they look like they be saying the same thing. Like it's easy to see here, but when you in your dashboard, you got to hit that little drop down, and all them numbers be looking the same to me. So just make sure you look at the one that say 50K intraday trail, no activation fee, and then when
Got
you
it.
pick it,
Now it says $49. Got it.
yeah,
Got it. Okay. 50K Tradeovate, no activation fee, intraday trailing.
yes.
Okay, got it.
And the way you can figure out if you got the right one, right? When you put in the code Big Spider, it should put a line through the price, and it should have the right price on it. If the price ain't right, that means you picked the wrong one. You got to go back and make sure you pick the right one.
I got the right one.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. It says, sorry, Tim, I punted that Apex standard account trying to pass it quick. Hey man, it happened to the best of us, man. We all be tearing them evals up trying to pass them fast. I know I do. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I be tearing the eval up trying to pass it quick. Especially if I get caught in some chop. You get caught in chop with them intraday trailing drawdowns, and I done sized up. Man, that's how it gets you. I'm gonna tell you like this right here. The easiest way to blow an intraday trailing drawdown account is by sizing up. If you don't size up, you'll be good. But what happens is if you size up and it goes in your direction and then it start pulling up, you get a deep pullback, it's going to hurt you because you sized up. You got like 2, maybe 3 contracts on, and it move in your direction. Now you're doubling or tripling the amount of P&L that it's seeing that you earning, right? So then if you don't cut it and you go through a deep drawdown, right? Let's just say it moved like I hit somebody unmuted. Somebody unmuted. Let's say you go into like a somebody still unmuted. Everybody check your mute for me. Right? Let's say if it move 20 points in your favor, right? 20 points with one contract is $400. 20 points with 3 contracts is $1,200, right? So now with a 50K account, you only got $2,000 of drawdown. So if it goes in your favor, $1,200, and then it come all the way back down to your entry, it sees that you just lost $1,200. So now you ain't got nothing but $800 of drawdown. Mind you, if it come all the way back and stop you out for a you just say you got a 10-point stop loss, right? 10 points, that's $200. With 3 contracts, that's $600. So you had $1,200, then it came back and stopped you out at $600. You're down $1,800. You ain't got nothing but $200 in drawdown left. That's how I be blowing evals. Cause I size up. Oh, it's going. Let me size up. Let me hurry up and get out this eval. Trade just closed. Be like, wait a minute, man. How is closing and I'm only down $100? Oh, I forgot that I just, what I just did over there. Not realizing I'm down $1,800 in drawdown. And I'm thinking, oh, I ain't losing nothing but $600. No, you down $1,800 because it went $1,200 in your favor. Right. So that's why when I'm trading evals, a lot of times I just be taking base hits, just jumping out real quick. Right. Size up, jump out, size up, jump out. Right. And then sometime when I'm trying to trade it responsibly, I don't size up. I just trade it normal and just let the trade play out, because I hate sitting there babysitting trades. It bothers my nerves. Yeah, you was trying to get that $59 activation. You had today and tomorrow. But I get it. You like, hey man, let me go ahead and finish, because you had until tomorrow at COB. You had until the 25th at close of business at 4 o'clock on the 25th. You had a day and tomorrow, so but I get it. You trying to go hard and it is what it is. You already got the other ones. You passed the other 2. Just pull up on Freebie Friday and see if you win another one. Again, speaking of Freebie Friday, TBA this week. My liaison on leave, and I don't know if he's going to be able to get me any codes this week. He said he's on leave until the 27th. I don't know if that means he's coming back on the 27th or if he's coming back on the 28th. And Friday is the 28th. So, if he don't get me no codes this week, then we won't have a Freebie Friday, because the codes be going fast. That's why he be like, hit me up early in the week. So I be hitting him up like Sunday night. I hit him up Sunday night or Monday morning and be like, hey, shoot me the codes. Right. And when I hit him up this time, he was on vacation. He hit me back with like, I'm on vacation. Anyway, man, that's all I got. Hopefully y'all learned something. Hopefully y'all got something out of this today. If you didn't, I'll try my best next time. Tomorrow is Tuesday. We got a public pre-market analysis starting at will you still go over the charts? Yeah. Friday, yeah. I'm still go over the charts Friday. I just if I ain't got no codes, I just won't be no Freebie Friday. It's just gonna be a regular price action recap like today. Freebie Friday is just a byproduct, right? Freebie Friday is a byproduct. The price action recap, that's what we're really getting together to do. But the Freebie Friday, that's just like, me showing love back to y'all for showing love to me. Since Apex, they pulling up with the free codes. I say, look here, man. Can we make this an every week thing? My people, my people be good to me, man. So if y'all, y'all pull up with the codes every week, they're like, yeah, we can do that. Nah, I'm just gonna be honest with you. This is me being honest with you. Now, if y'all ain't using that code Big Spider, they ain't gonna just keep giving me coupon codes. I'm a businessman. Anybody out there that's got any kind of business sense about them, you understand what I'm saying, right? If y'all ain't, matter of fact, because that's why they reached out to me in the beginning. They said, "Hey, man, you on the chopping, you on the chopping block. We ain't getting enough traffic through your code." I said, "Well, give me a personal code that I can tell people so they can remember, hey, I'm using his code," right? So they gave me the personal code. You know what I'm saying? They gave me some coupons. And I was like, "Hey, keep shooting me the coupons so I can, give them to my people." Right? But they didn't say this to me, but I know how business go. If they ain't seeing what's going on with my code, if they ain't seeing no traction, and let me tell you how I know they watching it, right? Let me tell you how I know they watching it. Last time he sent me, I reached out to him. I was like, "Hey, yada, 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 boom, boom, boom." Right? And then we had our little conversation back and forth, right? Because I'm always trying to get more out of him. I'm always trying to get more for y'all, right? And then during the conversation, he was like, "Oh yeah, I meant to tell you. I noticed I didn't tell you, but I meant to tell you, congratulations on your best month that you've had last month." I said, "Oh, you going in and checking your ROI." You checking your ROI. You try to see what's going. So that's why I'm saying, I say, look, if y'all ain't using code Big Spider, I already know they ain't gonna just be giving them codes out like that. Cause when I be coming to them, hey, I'm a businessman. You know what I'm saying? My channel might not be the biggest, but you still getting some publicity on my channel with me talking about y'all. You know what I'm saying? You still getting customers coming in off my channel with me talking about y'all. So I be trying to get all I can out of him for y'all. You know what I'm saying? And because I was trying to get him to give up some of them no activation fee code. He'll like, don't exist. He'll like, those don't exist. But we trying to work on stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I be trying to get all I can out of him, right? But if y'all ain't using Big Spot at checkout, I already know this gravy train ain't gonna last forever. If they don't see no ROI, they gonna be like, "Nah, I ain't gonna just keep giving you no codes like that, cause it ain't making sense on our end. Giving out all these free codes, but we don't see nobody buying." You know what I'm saying? That's just how. What's the required phone number format? It's not accepting my number. I appreciate that, Lady E. Phone number. Lorraine, what you talking about a phone number? Phone number for what, Lorraine? You talking about when you first do it actually for your phone number when you first setting up Apex? I set up Apex so long ago, I don't even know what they ask when you set up. Who did anybody just recently sign up with Apex?
Yeah, I don't remember nothing about a phone number.
Yeah, what phone number you talking about, Lorraine? Are you not required to set up a profile? Like I said, I haven't done it in so long. I don't know what they ask you to set up the profile.
Maybe she has a space, like too far to the right or to the left of her phone number. That's why it may not be accepting it.
Yeah, I don't even know. And then Apex started that old two-factor authentication, and you got the. When did my son text me?
I've been on that for a minute.
Yeah.
You got to go in and put your code, your password, and everything. Then you have to put that 8-digit code in there.
Yeah, I got to go into my authenticator app, and then.
Yep.
All right, so profile.
All right, I got my account. I'm trying to keep the party going.
I appreciate it. The only thing I got when I go to my profile, all I see is my email address and my street address. That's all I see on my profile. I don't even see a phone number on my profile. Maybe that's something new that they asked, but I can
Every
only,
now and then they have some sketchy ones that might be on that same. You put like Apex in, it might give you a different one that looks like Apex.
yeah.
Make sure she's in Apex.
Yeah, when you go to it now, if you go there, I know there is an Apex that you go to and the site look funny. Make sure the site that you going to look like this. Make sure it look just like this right here, right? That's the Apex site right there. There's another site because my brother, I clicked the link in your YouTube description. Yeah, so it should have. Let me see what happened when I clicked the link. It should have. Let me see.
Hey, appreciate you, Tim. Y'all have a good night.
All right, man. I'll take these. Let me see what's going on here. Content, live videos. All right, going to here. Get fun with Apex. All right, so let me copy this. Let me open up a private browser. Incognito browser, should I say. Yeah, so it takes you to the right, it takes you to the right page. Right. Yeah, it's going to the right page. Oh, I had it on the other screen. I had it on the other screen, so y'all couldn't even see that. All right, open up a new, open an incognito browser so they don't know that it's me. And then paste in, that's the link right there, code BIGSPIDER. Right, and it takes you to the screen there. Right, it takes you to the screen there. And then you just go in and select it. I'm not sure what it let me see what happens when I come in here. I don't want to show nothing crazy. I want to show nothing. It mess around and show all my information. All right. Oh, down there. Okay, here. It's phone number must be at least 7 digits with the country code. So, did you try 1 and then your area code and zip code? Or because it is asking for it. Try, let me see, try what'd you do first? Did you just do your area code and did you do your area code? Yes, 1 plus area code plus phone number. That's not what it took. It didn't take put the plus in front of the 1. Try the plus in front of the 1, put +1 area code, then your number, right? With no dashes or nothing. And then if the +1, okay, and then you just put 1 area code and a number. Let me see what happens. Let me try something. Try it without the 1 also. Did you try like area code in parentheses with it say phone number? Okay. Let me ask Gemini. I'm gonna ask Gemini. For anybody who just signed up for Apex, what did it make you do when you put in your number?
I just put in 252 and then my number.
With no dashes or nothing?
No, I ain't put no dashes.
So Lorraine, did you try just area code and phone number with no dashes? Yeah, without dashes and without the one. All right. Apex Trader Fund require a full international format without spaces, dashes, or parentheses. To resolve error, remove all punctuation symbols like parentheses, dashes, or periods and spaces. Include your country code at the beginning. US and Canada starts with 1 or +1, followed by the 10-digit phone number, 11 digits total. All right. So it's saying just do 1 with your number. Make sure there ain't no spaces in there. If you already selected a country as US, you don't need the 1. Just put the 10 digits without a space. Make sure there ain't no spaces in there. Like when you type in the 10 digits, once you get them all in, just hit the delete key a few times to make sure there ain't no spaces in there at all. Like when you go in there, make sure there ain't nothing in there. Make sure there ain't nothing in there. See, I just typed in a phone number and it put a green check there. Right? I just went there and I typed in a phone number and it put a green check there. And all I did was I just put like digits. I went in there and I put in a phone number, you know what I'm saying? And it took it. And it put a green check in the box. So when you put a phone number in there, it don't put a green check in the box. Like when you type the number in, no spaces, just your area code. I'll try using the numbers on the keyboard instead of the numeric keypad. I use the numeric keypad. But when you put it on there, and then when you click out of the box, it should put a green check over there at the end. And I ain't even select nothing. I just put in a phone number. The rest of the form blank. I just typed in a phone number and then clicked out of the box and it put a green check there, like it liked the number. Did it get you that time? Did it take it that time? If it don't take it that time, that means you got an iPhone 1. And they don't accept those. They don't accept the phones that still got the cord on it. You can't have a rotary phone with the cord on it. You can't use those. Hey man, I don't know. Sometimes there's unsolved mysteries in life, but I'm hungry and I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Y'all tune in tomorrow at 9 o'clock. We're gonna do a public pre-market analysis. While we sitting here, I'm gonna update my chart real quick while we sitting here. Y'all free to go. I ain't gonna be talking about nothing else in price. I'm just gonna update my charts real quick and try to figure out what I'm gonna eat for dinner. Cause I'm hungry as a hostage right now. Again, I appreciate everybody that's been using code Big Spider. Yeah. What is meant to be will be. What is meant to be will be. Oh man, it's after 8. Golly, it's almost 8:30. Oh yeah, that's why I'm hungry, man. I gotta get up off here. Man, got a bullish new day opening gap. Bullish new day opening gap. I'm gonna clone that. It's tomorrow, the 30th. Man, tomorrow the 30th? No, tomorrow ain't no 30th. Yeah, tomorrow the 25th. That's 8:29 p.m. Tim. What you talking about? Tomorrow the 25th. I saw 8:29 on my thing. It's 8:29 p.m. I'm talking about the 30th. Like tomorrow ain't no 30th. All right. $29,140.5. 29,131.25. 186. Whoa. How did I get that? Oh, what's going on here? 29,131. 125. Okay. All right. Okay. We took out the weekly low and the daily low. Took out the weekly low and the daily low. The weekly low and the daily. So we took out Friday's low and last week's low. All right. Price still acting heavy. That's the daily high. Come on. Jesus. All right. It's a daily high. All right. Daily high, daily low. Took out the weekly low. All right. Hide that. Hide that. Hide that. All right, man. ES, same thing. Yes, it made its way back down below that old all-time high. We broke that all-time high, made our way back down below that. Right. Got a lot of sell side down there on the ES also, just like with the what's the name? Just like with the NQ, a lot of sell side down there. YM above the date. Oh, that's yes. The YM took out the daily high. Yep, the YM took out the daily high. The ES and the NQ, the NQ took out the daily low. The ES took out the daily low. And the YM took out the daily high. Right. Let's talk about that divergence earlier. We was having like some divergence in the short term. YM and the NQ ain't been on the same sheet of music in 3 years now. I'm quite used to the divergence now. Hey man, we hey, again, I'll see y'all in the morning at 9 o'clock for the pre-market analysis. Yeah, I'm hungry. Y'all enjoy y'all evening. I ain't gonna sign off. Just wanna go find me something to eat. I'll see y'all in the morning.